You remember Christmases past, do you? Maybe you have a little hard time. Do you remember what you got your loved ones for Christmas this year? Sometimes my mom would forget where she put the Christmas presents. She'd hide them. Keeping your brain active and remembering things. We're living longer, and it's a bigger challenge than ever, I think, now. Joining us now, as always, on a Tuesday about this time of the morning, it's What's Up, Doc, with Dr. John Braccio. Doc, hey, good morning.
Well, good morning to you, Mike, and really an ongoing common concern of many persons in this age of long-living persons, as you mentioned, is their memory. And with that said, even young persons have these concerns as they lead busy lives with a lot of stress and even human isolation in such a fast-paced digital world. And working from home further isolates people, and memory can slip with too much isolation and not having interactions with people. Now, for today, we'll exclude from our discussion, conditions like dementia and Alzheimer's disease that clearly relate to the deterioration of a person's memory through physical brain loss and dysfunction. And that withstanding, the suggestions made here can be helpful for them also as they try to function, and we all do, for as long as we can, okay? Now, today, more specifically, we're talking about ways to help you deal with memory loss that are typical for most persons as we live our lives. It is also important to realize that in the busy, stressful lives that persons live in at this time, it's not unusual to feel overwhelmed and stressed out at times, so that remembering things can be difficult for even the most astute persons. And I found this certainly to be true working with people that really sharp as a tack, but they feel their memory's going, or they're losing track of things. And when that happens, well, the following, these are things to do to keep your memory sharp in your lifetime. And they're valid regardless of whether your concerns are psychological, physical, or some combination. Keep your mind active. This is the big thing. Keep your mind active and always seeking out new challenges and things to learn about in your life. Puzzles, crossword puzzles, electronic games, reading groups, continuing education, whatever it might be. These are all things that really can keep the mind active. And then seek out in-person interactions with others. I'm amazed how isolated a lot of people are as they get older, even younger in this digital world. People don't interact, and you need to interact with people. You need to keep your mind sharp. And if you're going to be alone, you're going to just find, just pretty doesn't work for you. Then keep physically active. You want to keep that blood flow to the brain as well as the rest of the body, walking, riding a bike, exercising, doing whatever it is for you. You want to keep your life at home organized, okay? Not to make sure you keep appointments and that you make necessary appointments, pay bills on time, and check off items on a required daily list as you do them. This is important too. You're not going to forget a lot of things if you write them down, if you remember where you write them down, of course. Like you said about your mother hiding things, she probably had to write something down to make sure that she would remember where she put them.
It was great. We'd have Christmas in May sometime. She would go, oh, remember last Christmas? I got you this thing I forgot about. I just found it here. Okay, thanks.
well, that happens. Well, another thing is cut out distractions from your life to help keep your mind sharp and tending to what needs to be done. This is important, too. People can be going in 100 different directions, even working on 20 things, 10 things at the same time. And you really have to, just settle down and, really just work on, functioning and get rid of distractions that are slowing you down from doing what you're doing and having you have problems with your memory. Yeah. And then, of course, you need sufficient sleep, critical to ongoing good memory. People that go through periods of not getting enough sleep, they will tell you, they lose track of things, their memory goes, they can't, remember things. So you have to get the amount of sleep that your body requires. You certainly have to eat good, healthy diet. The old saying goes, we are what we eat. And then another one I throw in here, though, is staying away from toxic people. Toxic people can cause a lot of mental distress in your life. And as a result, they can lead to you getting confused and not thinking clearly. So this is I'd say it for memory, but I say it for a lot of things in terms of staying away from toxic people.
Yeah.
And then, as necessary, you want to meet with the appropriate medical and mental health professionals as necessary to be as healthy as possible physically, mentally, and certainly working with your memory. So there are a lot of people, young, old, that are having issues with memory. And a lot of things are just piling up, and electronically things coming 100 different directions, people being isolated. So it's really critical that you work on your memory. You keep track. You get good to write things down, keep track of them. But just keeping your mind sharp is really an important thing. And I run into a lot of people in their 80s sharp as a tack, and run into younger people, even 20, 30, even in their teens, that are going in so many different directions they can't quite remember what's going on. They forget appointments, forget to get things going, don't do things that have to be done. So it's really critical that we work on memory and make sure that we are on top of things. It's really important, because once you start losing these things, it's hard to get it back.
Isn't it odd that we know we have to get enough sleep? We're told this all the time. You got to get enough sleep, eat better, eat healthy, exercise, even just mild, take a walk at lunchtime or in the morning or something. We know, though, if you do those three things, you're going to be way ahead of the curve, but yet none of us do it. I don't say none of us. I mean, I have friends who are adamant runners and things like that. But the average person, I know a bunch of people are like, yep, I'm trying to get back to the gym. And every New Year's, that's the big resolution, right? Oh, I'm trying to sleep more. Oh, I'm trying to do this. We never do. Why?
Well, I think what happens, people get in ruts. They take the road of least resistance. They don't do it. And it's really critical if you're going to be an active person, kind of like keeping a car going or keeping a computer, or whatever it might be. You always have to update yourself. And you do that by keeping active and doing things. And people, just often don't. They just make what I call bad choices, Mike. They don't do things that enhance themselves. And memory is something you don't want to lose. And even just taking time out sometimes, if you just feel so kind of, just out of it, or just can't really seem to be thinking, foggy, take the time out and just take a couple of minutes. You can breathe in, you can breathe out. If you've got a headphone, you can listen to a little Mozart or a little music to kind of, or whatever it might be, something that can be helpful to you to just slow the brain down a bit, and then be able to come back and be able to function more effectively. But this memory really, we see a lot of young people that say they have bad memory. They don't remember it. As it turns out, they're not doing a lot of things to enhance their memory. They're kind of in this digital world and kind of overwhelmed that they really kind of losing out on a lot of things. And happens with older persons too, that just sit and watch television all day. Those aren't, you kind of, listen, you have to be active, you have to be using the brain. The old saying is, if you don't use it, you lose it. So that's certainly the case that I have seen, and I'm a firm proponent of being active, learning things, interacting with people, and just, just leading a happy life. It's a one-time shot, and every minute you lose, so you want to just try to enjoy it along the road of life. That's what we have to do. And we
waste so much time. We waste it. And I'm going to tell you, I was just thinking of her the other day. My mother, God rest her soul, toward the last week or two, she would do puzzles and things like that, and we'd see her every day. And one time I asked her, because she was just kind of staring off, and I said, Mom, can I get you anything? You want some water? Can I get you something? She looked at me, and she said, more time. Holy crap, Moss, don't do that to me. But you do. All of a sudden, time is up, and there's nothing you can do about it.
That is true.
And our time is up today. How about that for a segue? Dr. John Braccio. Visit him, drjohnb.com. And his whole family's involved in this thing. Regional Psychological Services. It's always a pleasure, and we'll chat again next week, all right?
Mike, you're a great guy. Talk to you later, buddy. Bye-bye.
All right, see you. Bye-bye. 1320 WILS. Your morning wake up. Hang on.